Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Wabihi nasta'inu ala murid dunia waddin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Amma ba'du. This time, we will give our presentation with the title Lexical Meaning. And our team consists of 4 people. In the first, Ahmad Yageng Aryo, Alfiananda, Melinda Arista, and Wahyu Devani. Let me start. In the first, based on the Oxford Advanced Linear Dictionary, lexical meaning is the meaning of a word considered in isolation from the sentence containing it, and regardless of its grammatical context. For the example, love in or as represented by loves, loved, loving, and etc. In the second, lexical word refers to thing, people, action, description, or other idea that have more than just a grammatical use. Their meaning is easily identified by a clear concept or item. The categories of English words that are lexical include noun, adjective, most verb, and many adverb. Noun. Noun, for example, refer to specified idea, people, place, or thing. The concept behind word like dog, love, or Brazil, for the example, are very clear.
Types of lexical meaning of the word. 1. Prepositional meaning of a word or an utterance arises from the relation between it and what it refers to or describes in a real or imaginary word. Example, shirt is something to wear on the upper part of the body, but it would be inaccurate to use shirt under normal circumstances to refer to a piece of clothing worn on the foot, such as socks. Rule: when a translation is described as inaccurate, it's often the prepositional meaning that is being called into question. 2. Expressive meaning cannot be judged as true or false. The reason is because expressive meaning relates to the speaker's feeling or attitude rather than to what words or utterance refer to. Example, the difference between don't complain and don't whine does not lie in their proportional meanings. 2 or more words or utterances can therefore have the same proportional meaning but different in their expressive meaning. 3. Preposed meaning arises from co-occurrence restriction on what other words or expression we expect to see before or after a particular lexical unit. This restriction divided into 2. First, selection restrictions. We expect a human subject for the objective studios and an inanimate one for grammatical. Second, collocational restriction. These are semantically arbitrary restrictions which do not follow logically from the proportional meaning of a word. 4. Evoke meaning arises from dialect and register variation. A dialect is a variety of language which has currency within a specific community or group of speakers. Dialect may be classified on one of the following bases. First, geographical. Scottish dialect or American as opposed to British English. Second, temporal. Word and structure used by members of different age groups within a community or words used at different periods in the history of a language. Third, social. Words and structure used by members of different social classes. The difference between lexical meaning and grammatical meaning. Number 1. Lexical meaning is dominant in content words, whereas grammatical meaning is dominant in function words, but in neither is grammatical meaning absent. The two kinds of meaning can be demonstrated by nonsense verse. Nonsense sentences of verses are not strings of random words put together. The words are combined according to regular rules of syntax with grammatical signals. That is, function words, except that the content words are arbitrarily invented without lexical meaning and what left is only grammatical meaning. Number 2, the set of grammatical forms of a word is called its paradigm. The nouns are declined, verbs are conjugate, and gradable adjectives have degrees of comparison. The lexical meaning of a word is the same throughout the paradigm. That is, all the word forms of one and the same word have the same lexical meaning. Yet, the grammatical meanings varies from one word form to another. For example, cat is grammatically singular in meaning while cats is plural. Rights denotes third person, singular and present tense, whereas wrote denotes past tense. We can only see a few words here and this looks like nonsense. All you know is that it is about jumping cats, running dogs, and trees. It may be possible to guess the complete meaning of the sentence, but you can't know for certain because cats, dogs, and trees can be related in different ways. Now look at the sentence with the grammatical words inserted. The cat jumped into the tree as the dog ran forward. The sentence makes sense. Notice, however, that if you put a different set of grammatical words in, you get a completely different meaning. Example: the cat jumped from the tree after the dog ran away. You can see that the grammatical words clarify the lexical relations between the lexical words and define their functions in the sentence. The last, we have part of lexical relations. There are four parts of lexical relations: hyponymy, polysemy, synonym, and antonym. The first one is hyponymy. Hyponymy is similar to the notions of abundance, meaning the semantics of one object is implied by another. That is to say, because word represents subject, the semantic properties of a particular object, like whether it is a female or animate, can be abundant in the word that implies the same object. And so, the meaning of a word X can be abundant in the word Z. For instance, the meaning of animal is included in the meaning of a lion, goat, dog, and so on. The term animal is the upper term known as the subordinate, while the lower term is called hyponym. For example, subordinate term for color is hyponym or blue, red, green, white, yellow, etc. The second one is polysemy. Polysemy is a word that's derived from the Greek word polymeny, and semia relates meaning, a word or an expression that has multiple meanings that are related conceptually or historically. It is also called radiations or multiplications. Polysemy deals with contractions that have multiple meanings, for example, head, over, or letter, can all adopt multiple meanings. These words could be considered polysemy since they each have many potential meanings. So, polysemy pertains to words and phrases that can have more than one meaning. Sometimes, the context of a specific phrase will allow us to negate other phrases, like if someone was holding an umbrella, but when removed from context, phrases remain ambiguous, and thus polysemy highlight the importance of analyzing semantic feature of words rather than analyzing syntax alone. The third one is synonym.
Synonym is a word who has the same meaning but different pronouncing and writing. Synonym can be divided into three based on their aspect. In essence, descriptive, cognitive, and air synonym. For example, learn and study, see and look, cry and bring. All three sentences have the same meaning, even though they are each unique instance of that sentence, only because the meaning of all three words at the end of the sentence are the same. These, by extension, then allow each sentence to maintain the same meaning as before. Therefore, the key to remember with synonyms that, although they have a relationship in meaning, they do not always have the same meaning in sentence. And the last one is antonym. Antonym is used to describe oppositeness of meaning. Palmer, 19 and 1906 to 94 and 95. The antonym work differently when we hold as assumptions a literal or straightforward view of discourse. With antonym, we are concerned with contractions which are opposites to one another with respect to lexical relationship. For example, ice and hot, beautiful and ugly, big and small. These words have meaning which are opposite to one another. Categorical and continuous are the forms that differentiate the meaning in the word. Okay, I think that's enough for our presentations today. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.